Hey guys, Desolator Magic here, and exactly one person requested in one comment that I make this video. So I did. That's how you know you're popular on YouTube. This is going to be a bit of a dull video, but a little bit interesting if you're into this kind of thing, which why would you be? I have mentioned in a lot of videos and a lot of comments a whole bunch of jobs that I used to have or fields that I used to work in, and people are like, didn't you say you used to be a this, and this? You don't even know the half of it. My family is the type where we will do anything. We all have multiple jobs. If there is money, we will make it. That's how you stay out of debt. At any given time, I probably have 3 or 4 jobs, although right now it's a little bit different. So hopefully without anything missing, although that's almost impossible at this point, here is every single job I've had ever. Very first job when I was 15, I believe. Actually, I needed a special type of permit. I believe I was 14. I worked at a landscaping and nursery place, and I worked retail at the counter, and I have the worst allergies that my doctor has ever seen on a human being. I am allergic to anything living. So that perhaps wasn't the greatest career choice, but hey, it was money, and then as soon as it rolled around to be fall, everybody's fired, so that sucked. Crappy summer job, but whatever. I also worked there with my brother, actually. So that job sucked. I've always done computer repairs since even before that. So on and off in the last, 15 years, I've been doing computer repairs just for friends and family and referrals and all that. Because that can always undercut the huge companies that do it, obviously. Around college, I worked at a really awful print shop. It was like a gigantic place, probably a couple 100,000, if not a million square feet. I mean, this place was gigantic. It was miles long. And this is in July, and I worked on the heat press, making SpongeBob books. That was awful. I have zero tolerance for heat, so maybe that also wasn't the job for me, but hey, money. It's a job, it's money, you do it, you get over it. That's my work ethic, that's how I was brought up. While I was in college, I got a job as a math tutor, a business math and accounting tutor, and a software programming tutor. Oh, and I also started college during high school, actually. I went to both at the same time. And all my students passed, which was great. I think while I was in college or right after, I worked as a writer and an editor, an overall content producer, and then moderator, like an editing or not a content moderator for a huge site. It was like the 40th most visited in the U.S. Now, unfortunately, the company had to restructure, and that sucks. It was really good money. I mean, that's what originally led me to believe, hey, I should get on YouTube. Because, you create content, you get a cut of the ad revenues, you make royalties off it. I was used to it. I'd been doing it forever. In fact, that company flew me out to California for the user event for free, paid for everything, put me up in a really fancy hotel, top floor, right on the beach in Santa Monica. That was pretty cool. Oh, it was pretty cool, except California is a liberal crap hole where everything's expensive, loud, and crime, and it's terrible. It was twice as bad as I imagined it, and I didn't have a very good opinion of it. Gee, no offense to the 25% of Californians that watch my video. I mean just the place I went to that, people don't think of Northern California as California. Y'all know what I mean. Now, very, very close around that time, I got a job with an IT contractor that did all kinds of short-term IT projects, actually mostly long-term IT projects, because they put me at a hospital for right around a year. It was a 1-year project or 8 months or something like that with a split. So I drove through construction. That added 30 minutes to my already 45-minute commute. That sucked. But I mean, come on, working IT at a hospital, it's prestigious. I put that all over my resume after that. And I was promoted to team lead on day 3 because honestly, I was the best person there, which isn't saying much about my teammates. So that was cool. I was mostly in charge of data erasing, but then they put me in charge of everything. I was running support tickets for them. I got them caught up by an entire month in just a week, but honestly, they were really bad. That IT department was just terrible. I mean, they brought us in, didn't they? Additional staff, 7 members to do their jobs for them. I mean, come on. And then they were all fired because all 40 people in the IT department were actually contracted from another company. So it was like a 5-year contract, $10 million or something, and they just didn't renew it and fired every single one of them and replaced them with IBM, which is not a good idea. That wouldn't have been my first choice or in my top 100. Gee, why don't they bring in Oracle while they're at it? So that was only a temporary job, but, it helped springboard my career, so that's good. I did a couple other short projects that were pretty cool, like an IT job at a call center for I don't know, a couple weeks. And it wasn't like a phone support thing. I mean, it was like we're working IT and doing a project replacing computers at a US call center for something completely different. So that was fun. It was miserable. Nobody got paid anything and everybody hated their job. And I think one person quit per day. It was lovely. Oh, and on day one of the project, the head IT manager quit. Like, seriously, without warning, just straight up quit. I thought that was freaking hilarious. So somewhere in the midst of all this, I shot television for a TV show as a camera operator. I was also briefly for a couple shows a magician's assistant at a huge show with like thousands of people. The show was previously in Vegas and they came to Wisconsin. Yeah, that's right. I'm out there breaking all the stereotypes. Not every magician's assistant is remotely fit or good looking. I've also done every job ever for plays and concerts. I've done lights, I've done sound, I've done the computer operations, I've done the camera. Pretty much, I've been the usher. I mean, you name it, I did it. Oh, I even helped cook for one. Like, I'm the whole damn production team. I've worked stage crew at a couple concerts, huge concerts. That was pretty cool. I also used to clean limousines between limo runs. That was kind of an awful job. Didn't pay much, but it was all under the table, no taxes, you know. Statute of limitations I just checked just expired on that, so I'm going to keep that in the video. I also used to mine Bitcoins for about 14 months. I think y'all know how that went. I lost $1.26 million potential income that I could have had. That was awesome. But I also used to do other jobs for Bitcoins. I'll give one example because I'm certainly not going to give the others. I used to do like really good clone jobs. Like if somebody wanted a website cloned verbatim, but with the name changed, but they wanted the exact same layout, colors, style, font, everything. I did those type of clone jobs and some like, mild counterfeiting, like stuff that was legal, but it was still totally counterfeiting. Just blatant ripoffs, like Chinese movies and stuff, So I did, a lot of Photoshop and a lot of HTML design. Speaking of that whole time, I made probably about 25 websites for people because that's what one of my degrees was web design. I also did a little bit of graphics design, but my art skills are pretty poor, as you can see by my thumbnails. So, yeah, I did some like photo corrections and touch-ups too for some people. I feel like I'm missing some things. We're already past college here. I briefly worked at like a woodworking place until I found out after a couple days I'm badly allergic to wood dust. That was a pretty short-lived job. I also did subwoofer installations, any kind of electrical mods to cars, lighting. I've done like 7 or 8 HID installations for headlights, that kind of stuff. So I've done some amateur car mods. I got pretty good at that. You guys should see my car too. It's quite interesting what I did to it. Oh, and one of my more recent jobs is private security at a certain type of event. I'm not going to say what. So I get to carry around big guns and bulletproof vests and look intimidating. It's pretty fun. I actually almost got a job with the TSA, and this is before they had a bad reputation, but I'm glad I got a slightly different security job. I was a trained casino game operator, but not at a real casino. It was for like the corporate casino events. But you still have to learn every single last rule of like blackjack, 4-card poker, let it ride, roulette, all that. Well, roulette, come on. You don't need to really learn roulette. I never did bother to learn craps, so I freaking hate craps. That's not true. I learned it twice and forgot it twice. I never bothered to relearn it. So besides being a magician and a magician's assistant, I also have training in like casino dealing. So remember when I said I caught a lot of people cheating at my old local gaming store? That wasn't random chance. If it's a card manipulation trick, I know it. I actually worked with a mobile DJ on and off. I'm doing some DJ jobs because, I know sound systems, so that was kind of cool. A lot of travel, terrible hours. I mean, one time I actually worked an 18-hour day between my shop and the DJ job. That sucked. And of course, for 4 years, I was the head IT manager at a pretty huge company. About 200 people work there. That was a pretty slick job, but it paid, honestly, 1/3 of the industry normal amount for this area, for that level of work. That really sucked. They constantly, they gave me no days off. I was converted to salary after being hourly. It was just terrible. They had no idea how to operate an IT department or anything. It was really bad, but I made tons of improvements. But I quit because it was too many hours and I couldn't stand the company, and I heard that they were planning to try to replace me with like a outsourced contractor that does everything remote, which is like a bad idea for 1,000 reasons. And so now I run a shop that does something, which I'm not going to say because you guys would probably find it. But also we sell MTG products and cards just almost exclusively online. I mean, we got the cards out and stuff at the shop for walk-ins, but I mean, 90% of my work in a day is not related to Magic, unless you count YouTube. So right now, 75+% of my income is coming from YouTube because I'm putting a lot less effort into my shop, and honestly, the industry I work in is not good right now. I do fix up computers constantly, laptops and stuff. I got my friend works at a place that gets in a lot of those. We'll just buy in bulk and just fix them up with a friend of mine that does it like professionally. But the funny thing is I'm better at it, but he's higher volume than me. So just on the side, we sell them to like pawn shops or Craigslist, Facebook, occasionally eBay, but I don't like that. So that's kind of cool because there's actually a lot of money in there. I mean, if you pay $10 a laptop and you could sell them for $150, that's not bad. I also break them down for like scrap metal, sell them to the metal yards and all that. So that's probably my favorite side job, and honestly, I'd prefer to just go to just YouTube and then close my shop. So I think I hit on everything, although I kind of doubt it. I'm sure I forgot something. In fact, I'm going to think back and see what I blocked out of my memory about my quality career path choices. Oh, I've worked snow removal, and I've sold merchandise for a band, actually, at concerts. Oh, and I go to auctions, or I used to do it for as a picker for a larger company. But now I just do it for myself, resell it myself. So, power tools, furniture, whatever. I can get it, clear it same day. Oh yeah, how could I forget? I used to be a ninja assassin. Just kidding. I mean, unless you want somebody eliminated, I'm just saying. Oh, I used to run Dance Dance Revolution tournaments. Usually at charity fundraisers, actually. That was kind of a cool little thing to do. I've also won a couple tournaments, but that was when I was skinnier and had a lot less knee problems. Oh, of course. I've done product testing for a huge super company, like a huge corporation. Where they give you a product and then you test it out and you then answer a bunch of questions about it. And it's like in person, like it's like legit. Oh, and I'm also a certified egg expert product reviewer for Newegg. I write a ton of their certified marked reviews for products. It's pretty cool because I get to keep like really expensive, like just released or pre-released items. It's pretty awesome. I would dare say that's my favorite job at the moment. So I'm sure I missed some stuff, but you guys get the idea. I have done everything, and I mean everything. It's mixed from the most manly, hardcore, awesome jobs to the most mundane, boring, awful work conditions you could ever imagine. In fact, at the printing facility, about a third of the workers were from the local prison on some kind of work release program. It was quite a lovely place to work. Oh, and this wouldn't be like an awesome typical YouTube video unless I added a bunch of inspirational crap at the end. Keep in mind that I've got more than a couple of health problems. Like, there's people with similar health problems to me, like personal friends of mine, and they're on like disability and unemployment. Guess what? You take some Tylenol and you go to work, and then after work you go to your other work. I've never let allergies stop me from getting a job. I've never let my knee and hip and back problems stop me from getting a job. You exercise, you stretch, you try and make the best out of it. If you're injured, you take a week off and you come right back, okay? That's what you do. I cannot accept free money from the government. I don't care. I can work. It's uncomfortable, yes. Do I qualify for disability? You damn right I do. Doesn't frickin' matter. There are people with like no legs and crap. They come back from war and they're missing limbs. There are deaf and blind people. I'm not going to be taking their money just because I've got some medical problems that are chronic and ongoing. I could sit on my butt and work an IT job, okay? It's just not an excuse, and I'm so sick of people that use it as a crutch. Or not even just to imply that they're lazy. It's like, oh man, I've got this ongoing problem and it makes work uncomfortable, so I'm going to sit home and be depressed and miserable. No. Just get out there and do your best. If I don't have any excuses to not work, none of you have any excuses to not work. Hopefully after all the miserably awful, generally terrible jobs I've held, I'll be able to do YouTube full-time in the very near future. Although owning my own shop and being my own boss isn't as bad as it might sound. I mean, there's a lot of downsides to it, but not having to work under anybody else or being told what to do, except for by the customers, that's pretty nice. I can't complain that much about it. Plus, I'm already an expert at business accounting, so there's that portion of it done. So now it's everybody else's turn. You got to tell me your crazy work history, not just, oh, I worked at McDonald's, yay. Like, if you've worked somewhere totally crazy, let me know about it down in the comment section. Or if you had a job for exactly like one day and then the place burned down. Like, whatever your awesome, way wacky out there job story is, totally leave it down in the comment section. It should be very interesting. Oh, crap, I forgot. I worked for FedEx too, briefly. I swear, as soon as I hit upload, I'm going to be like, oh, that's right. I worked at this place for like a long enough time to have put it in the video, but I completely forgot. In fact, I'd worked as the head IT manager at another company part-time for a year. Whoops. It was like on an as-needed basis. I wouldn't really call it a job. So anyway, let me know about your crazy work history. I'd love to hear about it, and I'll see you guys next video. Oh my God, how did I forget this one? Right out of college, a company heard that I was an exceptional programmer because, my teachers spread it around because I did quite well in all the classes and I was one of the programming tutors. My brain is built for programming. Like, I'm weird as hell, but that's the one thing it does perfectly correct is patterns and planning. So a company hired me and they run a piece of software, and I'm not going to really say what it does, or you'd know exactly who I am, but it's used by ESPN at one of their competitive events. So that's pretty cool. It only took me about 2 months to write it, and I only had to patch it once, which was basically on day one during the testing phase. It has been untouched, unpatched, running flawlessly for about the last 10 years. I am really proud of that, and every time I see some garbage put together like MTGO, oh my God, does that get my blood boiling. I am living proof that you can make perfectly working, flawless software if you're just not an idiot at programming. Unfortunately, when it comes to my graduating class in the programming department, I would hire maybe 3 of them out of like the probably 50. The rest, not even close to good enough. I wouldn't trust them to write a frickin' math program. So if you're wondering why most software sucks worldwide, that's why. People go into it because it's the highest paying field of IT, and that's it. Unfortunately, you pretty much have to have a very abnormal brain to do it, so oh well. So, mystery solved. Now you can go on with your life knowing why Microsoft Word 06 is such garbage. I'll see you guys next video.